So, may I come in?
Please come.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Anshul, briefly introduce yourself, please.
So, my name is Anshul Bhatt, and I hail from Devbhoomi, Uttarakhand. I completed my graduation from St. Stephen's College, wherein I was the elected student representative for 3 consecutive years. I was the president of Hindi Sahitya Sabha, vice president of JCI Society, and was associated with various other clubs. And my hobbies include graphic designing, rock climbing. I like to swim. I'm fond of books. In fact, I'm writing a book recently on Uttarakhand's folklore, and I've also dabbled into social service. And in fact, I've been associated with a school called a Mountain School in City through my college.
Can you speak a bit slowly
Yes, sir.
so that we can understand?
Yes.
All right. Now, Anshul, you are also involved with the Vivekanand Society in your college,
Yes.
right? Why is Vivekanand considered to be basically the symbol or the icon of spiritual India? Do you recall the famous Chicago conference where he went and what he said?
So, sir, Chicago conference was a conference on the world religions. So every person from every religion was present there, and he had to give a speech. And Swami Vivekanand ji was the last to go there, and he gave a speech that shook the whole world. In fact, when he said, "Brothers and sisters of America," the whole crowd rose up and started clapping for almost 2 minutes. Sir, since then he became the speaker, the voice of India. As it was a time when India was seen as a backward country.
What did he say?
What did he say? So, sir, he says that first of all he talks about the Hindu religion. He talks about Sanatan Dharma. He says that our Dharma is one of the most ancient of religions, and we respect every other religion as well. So this was the crux of the.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, leadership.
Right, sir.
You are also you are part of the leadership society.
Yes, sir. There was a leadership society.
Society. Now, what is leadership about? What are the essential ingredients of leadership? Just give me. There are several. Just give me 5.
So, sir, if we talk about the first aspect, it is competence. You have to be competent in whatever you do to be a leader. Then second is courage. Then there has to be integrity. Then if we talk about other things, I think there is the ability to inspire others. So in fact, while extending an invitation to the then Cabinet Secretary, Mr. D.K. Sinha, he told me that if you want to cross the ocean, do not teach your men to build a bridge or to build a boat, but tell them to yearn for the sea. So that was another thing. And I think
Tell them to do what?
Sir, if you want to cross the ocean, go to the other side. Do not make your people build a boat, rather than make them yearn for the sea. So inspire them into action. And sir, the fifth thing I would say, there's a quality of servant leadership. To see yourself as a servant for others. To become a leader to serve the people. Like our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji calls himself not the Pradhan Mantri but the Pradhan Sevak. So that is the thing.
Okay. Now, let me give you an instance, okay, hypothetically,
Yes, sir.
and let us see how you will act on it.
Yes.
There was a report 2 days ago in one newspaper that according to an assessment by the Royal United Services Institute in London, there is a strong possibility of a war between India and China in 25, in the period from 25 to 30. Let us assume that you are at that time in the Ministry of External Affairs and you are handling the China desk. Now there is an issue of war between India and China. You are aware of our own defense capabilities, so you know what possibility are there in terms of our winning the war and how critical the security is.
Right, sir.
I will ask you to give me in 2 minutes your own scenario and what kind of action would you propose to the Prime Minister?
Okay, sir. Just give me a moment to think about it, sir. Sir, first of all, I would ask the Honorable Prime Minister to increase the defense production, especially of small arms, ammunition, and artillery shells. Because we have seen in the recent Ukraine conflict that it has taken played a big major part. Then I would say to jerry-rig the existing UAV devices to make them into kamikaze drones and to import more weaponized drones from America. That is another thing. And in the foreign policy aspect, I would encourage Honorable the Prime Minister to make sure that America and Russia moves closer so that Russia doesn't see that it has to go closer to China so that we can create a sort of uh, breakup between China and Russia, which would be in our interest because most of our defense machines come from Russia. So that is another thing, sir. Um, if I have to talk more about it, sir, I think we do have military capability to give China bloody nose like we did in 1967 in the Nakula and the Nakula clashes, because we have a tactical advantage, especially on the Himalayan front. But we cannot sustain the war for long. So, sir, what we can do, we can then create dissensions in the Tibetan region. In fact, we have a special frontier force establishment
All
to do
right.
in our own Chakrata in there.
Okay.
That is what
You have done international PSIR as your optional. Sovereignty. What is your own idea of sovereignty? And how important is sovereignty in these days of technological changes?
Sir, from sovereignty, for me, it is the ability to act on one's own. So I am not under any pressure to act a certain way. Although there might be some considerations that I can think of, but I should not be forced to do a certain thing. So that is sovereignty for me. So if someone is saying me do this, and I'm doing it only because of his saying, so that would be an attack on our sovereignty. That would be one thing. And sir, if we talk about the technological changes that we are seeing that the advent of AI, then there is global interdependence in terms of economics. Then we say that this issue of deepfakes, etc. I think it is indeed having an impact on the sovereignty of the nations. Like we saw what happened in the recent Bangladesh elections, and in the elections, the AI and even in 2014 in the American election, there was saying that Russia was interfering with the election. So it is indeed very that we have to look into.
Russia was interfering with the elections?
Yes, sir, 2014. So there was a report that Russia was indirectly helping Trump to win the election.
I see. Okay. Then Trump. Okay. All right. One last question.
Yes, sir.
Maldives.
Yes, sir.
In view of the strong objections raised by Maldives in terms of uh, stationing our own people there in Maldives, in civis, armed forces, whatever it is, do you think we should then simply say that we are withdrawing all our assets from Maldives? Helicopter, disaster relief forces, everything. That we simply withdraw them from Maldives.
Yes, sir.
Would you say that is the right course of action?
Sir, if I may, I think that would not be a wise decision because we see that we have had good relations with Maldives as well in the previous Soli dispensation. In fact, we have been helping them like in Operation Neer and Operation Cactus. In fact, when India wants to emerge as a net security provider, we are talking about becoming Vishwamitra and Vishwaguru. I think as a bigger country, it is our responsibility to see that the people around us are happy as well. So I don't think that would be a wise decision and it would jeopardize the relations of India and Maldives forever.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Anshul,
Yes, sir.
I find it very strange that you're consistently filling up the form for your armed police forces ACS examination, but you are not appearing in it. Why so?
Sir, there are like two reasons. First of all, it was a plan B, a backup option, but because I was able to crack prelims, so I didn't go for it. And the second thing was the date of the examination was near my mains exam, and I was up in the hills near Nainital, and the center usually comes at Dehradun, so it's like a long way from there. That is why I
No,
didn't go.
but you've been filling it up for 2-3 years. In
Yes, sir.
21 you filled up, 23 you filled up, 22 you filled up, but you must have appeared only once for the prelims. Are you
No, sir,
appearing for the prelims on these 21, 22, 23?
Sir, in 21 I couldn't make it through the prelims. 22 I had written the mains, and 23 I'm here.
So it was clashing with your examination.
So it was nearby. So either I could prepare for CAPF or either I could prepare for mains. So I thought preparing for mains would be a wiser option.
Okay, you come from the state of Uttarakhand.
Yes, sir.
Please tell us something about Tehri Dam.
Sir, Tihri Dam is built on the Bhagirathi River. So it is one of the highest dams in the world. So near that, near the Tiri Dam, the river Bhagirathi and Telangana, they confluence with each other. And so there have been certain, and when the Tiri Dam was built, the old Tiri city that was in the valley, that was totally submerged. And then there was a new city called the New Tehri city that was developed upon the hills. And the people who could not get land in the New Tehri region, they were given land in the THDC colony in Dehradun. Sir, one like really disadvantage that I saw of the Tiri Dam was that while building the Tiri Dam, a significant amount of the agricultural land that was very fertile in our own state of Uttarakhand, it was submerged in the Tiri Dam. So I think that was the only that was a disadvantage of the Tiri Dam, because we are seeing that we are consistently decrease in the agricultural land and agricultural productivity of our state.
So that was submersion of land.
Yes, sir.
But its effect on the overall economy of Uttarakhand,
Right, sir.
has it been beneficial? And what are its effects? Because we are told that even Delhi is getting water from Tehri Dam,
Yes, sir.
and your Haridwar, whenever they require water for the various isnan, they are able to release the water. So what is its effect in the overall economy of Uttarakhand?
So I think to develop, we do need energy. And through Tigri Dam, we are able to provide humongous amount of energy, not only to our state, but to other states as well. And other than that, there have been other projects associated with it, like there's very big project of tourism associated with the Tigri Dam, in the Tigri Lake. So we have been able to draw in tourists from the various parts of the world. In fact, there is a festival that takes place near the Tigri Dam of the water sports only. Other from that, then there have been many drinking water projects and other projects that deliver water to various parts of the state.
So you're mentioning tourism.
Yes.
And for tourism, they are widening the roads
Yes, sir.
in a big way.
Yes, sir.
Up to, so do you think it was necessary and it is doing good to your Uttarakhand state?
Sir, if I may cite an incident here, the very first Victoria crossing from India, Mr. Dharman Singh Negi. So while King George V, he was so inspired by his bravery that he gave him 2 boons. So he asked him, what do you want? So Mr. Dharman Singh Negi said, I want an English medium school in my village, and then I want a railway line that links Rishikesh to Karnaprayag. So sir, that was the idea of development of a Pahadi 100 years ago. And even today, this is the idea of development. If we deny a Pahadi a road, a hospital, or a education establishment by citing environmental degradation, I think we would do him like great harm. And sir, to say about the chaudikardan of the roads or the making of big roads, I think we have very strategic areas, be it the Barahoti area in Chamoli district, or in the Judang and the Nelang villages in Uttarkashi, or be it the Gunji and the Kunti and the Gabar villages in Pithoragarh. I think we see that these are strategic places where we need to deploy our armed forces in case there's some misadventure by the Chinese forces. So that is also why we need bigger roads for strategic reasons.
So which is the exact point where you can have incursion from the Chinese side, where you're facing the Chinese?
So sir, there are three regions where we can face it. So the first is in Pithoragarh, in the Kalapani area, because that is the tri-junction between Uttarakhand, Nepal and China. Then there is Barahati area in I think sir it is, just give me a moment sir, Chamoli district. Then there is Judang and Niti and Mana in the Uttarkashi district. So these are the...
What about Mana village, which is beyond Badrinath?
Yes sir, that is only sir, Mana and Niti villages, they are close by. And in fact, they are under the Vibrant Villages program of the...
So when the matter was before the Supreme Court,
yes sir.
It was about the environmental disaster which they were talking about.
Yes, sir.
They immediately mentioned that they want to deploy the thing in Mana village, whereas the whole effort was for building a infrastructure for both Kedarnath and Badrinath.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of that? How could they do that?
Sir, that roads serves a dual purpose. Sir, if I talk about the Char Dhams, if you have to go to the Char Dhams, we'll have to go to Rishikesh from here. Okay, then at Rishikesh we cannot take a direct bus because you cannot go at night, and even there are no Volvos that you can use to go there because the roads are in very bad condition.
And Karan Prayag has been linked by, is about to be linked or not?
Not yet, sir. But there are plans, but nothing much has been done on the ground.
That whole tragedy which took place was for the
Sir, that was
railway
in
line.
Silkyara tunnel in Uttarkashi that connects Yamunotri.
That is the railway tunnel.
No, sir, that was
the
a
road
tunnel.
connect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anshul,
Yes, sir.
who is Sudha Murthy?
Sir, Sudha Murthy is an Indian entrepreneur and academician, a prolific writer, and she is also the wife of Mr. Narayan Murthy, founder of Infosys.
She was in news recently.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason?
So, sir, she has been nominated to the Rajya Sabha.
Can the president nominate somebody to the Rajya Sabha?
Yes, sir. In fact, he can nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha.
Whose recommendation?
Sir, I'm extremely sorry about this. I'm a bit confused regarding it. Yes, sir. Sir, it has been a while. I brushed upon my
But
lesson.
anyway, tell me, what is the difference, two important difference between Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha? Bullet points.
So, sir, in matters of money bill, the power of Lok Sabha reigns supreme. And Rajya Sabha acts more as a representation for the states, whereas for Lok Sabha it is more about representation of the people, and the election to Lok Sabha is direct, whereas the election to Rajya Sabha is indirect.
Good. Do you have any idea who can be nominated? Is there any reservation in Rajya Sabha? Like Lok Sabha? You mean
Not
you
that.
understand by
Yes, sir.
reservation?
Yes, I get it. The one third for backward communities, and we used to have 2 seats reserved for Anglo-Indian, but that was done away
In
with.
Rajya Sabha that is not there.
No, sir.
Going to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are the difference between the two? Should know.
Yes, sir.
Better.
Yes, sir. I will.
What you have said is correct.
Yes, sir. I'll brush more upon it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Do you think students' union elections should be held?
Yes, sir. In fact, sir, it is a very nuanced topic. If we talk about what is happening in JNU, what is happening in Usmania University or with the Kerala University, we are seeing that the student politics is taking a very ugly turn. That is one thing, because it is morely associated with the political parties that are there in power. But if I talk about my own college, St. Stephen's College, so what we had done, we had a very good model. So our students' union was primarily a society with limited powers, although we were able to take the concerns of the students to the administration, but we did not involve in party politics, and that was strictly banned in college. Even if we could get rusticated if you are found engaging in party politics. So we can use that model.
Since you are a student of political science, where in the constitution minority has been defined?
As I can remember, I think it has not been defined in the constitution.
Correct. Not been defined. You were talking about rivers, etc.
Yes.
What is your take in Namami Gange project? Do you think options are it has been successful, it is a complete failure?
So I would say it has a great potential, because we are seeing, although much has been done, even sewage plants have come up in my own state. One is near, I think, Nainital only. But a lot more needs to be done, because we have
Do
to.
you have any idea how much of money has been spent
Yes, sir.
since 1986 on Namami Gange project?
It's a disproportionate amount. It's like really huge.
How much?
Sir, I'm not aware about the exact numbers, but it is
See,
disproportionate. Yes.
computed data up to 2022,
Yes, sir.
33,000 crores.
Yes, sir.
You have some idea?
So that is like humongous amount.
And add to it the Jamuna cleaning,
Yes, sir.
irrigation, etc., etc. So it should be much.
Yes, sir.
Think it over.
Yes, sir.
One last question.
Yes.
Since you are having political science and IR as your listing,
Sir?
since you are having political
Yes, sir.
science, why do you think the role of a district magistrate has become defunct in present day context?
Sir, district magistrate, as in when district magistrate is doing his judicial work, or all the functions.
You should know what is his
Right,
work.
sir.
I asked you a
Right,
question
sir.
that the position of the district magistrate
Right, sir.
is more or less different. You know the core
Yes,
function
sir.
of a district magistrate?
Yes, sir.
What is the core function?
So first he has the revenue function, then he has the administrative function, then there is this judicial function. But sir, that judicial function is more or less done away with because we have an independent judiciary now. And even if you talk about the revenue function, it has more to do with supervision because we see that there is these revenue officers, and then we have the circle officer, then we have the patwari and the tehsildar at the lower level. And so if we talk about the administrative function, we have BDOs, CDOs, then we have the circle officer. So I think DM has now got more of a supervisory role. Then he delegates how to be he has a more managerial and leadership role, how to delegate work and.
His core function gets sidelined.
Yes,
Other
sir.
function, that is what you are trying to say.
No, I'm saying he is more in a leadership position in district. He is more like delegating work to others. Although he supervises, but he doesn't.
So if it is delegating work to others, he is not supposed to do his duty.
No, sir, he is supposed to do so. Sir, I have to read more about this because it's.
All the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm extremely sorry about this question, sir.
Anshul,
Ji, sir.
recently one politician in India he spoke about that India is not one nation,
Ji, sir.
right? It's comprised of several nations because we have different languages, different cultures. So, what would you do to counter such a view, such a line of thinking?
Sir, I think.
You're aware of this statement,
Yes, sir.
right?
I'm aware. He was a politician from the south, so.
Yeah.
Sir, I think he has his own prejudices and a political agenda when
That's
he says
fine,
that.
but
Yes, sir.
how would you counter that?
Sir, I think the notion.
Yeah.
Sir, I think the notion of a state and a nation, I think this comes principally from the West. Since after the Treaty of Westphalia, if we talk about the Indian context, ours has been a civilization state. And I would tell him that Adi Shankaracharya ji, from your own very state, he went all over India. Then he established 4 mutt in 4 different directions. Even in his Srotas, he mentions about India. Okay. Then we have the ancient writings of Pliny the Elder and other Roman writers, Strabo, who visualizes India in the shape of a rhombus. Then we have our own Purans, etc., which talks about India as a Jambu Dweep, as an Aryavart. It says that India is the southern petal of a lotus. So you can visualize that shape. So, sir, we have historical evidences, we have literary evidences, we have archaeological evidences to say that India has always been a state, although not in a sense of a political state, but as a civilizational state.
Right. So, India is one nation through history, through culture.
Yes, sir.
and
Through shared experiences.
through shared experiences, right? Now, you have given Uttarakhand as your preferred cadre, right? But suppose you were given Tamil Nadu or Nagaland, how would you react?
Sir, I would be equally happy to serve the people of Tamil Nadu.
Why?
Sir, first thing is I would get exposure to their rich culture, since Tamil has a long history. Tamil language is of antiquity. Then I would learn about the Tamil people, their custom, their traditions. And sir, if I talk about what I would do later, like I get 14 to 20, I know Tamil, then I would also be able to formulate foreign policy for India and Sri Lanka. So that would be an added advantage.
Right. The national education policy, right?
Yes.
It talks about teaching in local language,
Yes, sir.
right? So, how do you see that?
So I think that is a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
And especially, sir, when we talk about little kids, they ought to be taught in local language. Even C.V. Ramanji said, eminent scientist, that we have to teach science even in local languages. So in fact, when I was researching about Spiti Valley and the Mansingling school that I was associated with, I got to know that the children there, they are taught in their native Bhoti language. And they are also taught about their folklores, etc. So if we could inculcate that cultural heritage into the education itself, like even in our Kumaon and Gadwal, we have great folklores of Rajula Malushahi and Jitu Bagadwal, Fioli and Gugoti all. If we could inculcate that into teaching our kids as well, I think we would do them a double benefit. We would teach them about education and how to speak and how to write. And then we would also tell them about their own rich culture.
Last question. But some states are converting to English medium their schools.
Yes, sir.
You yourself mentioned also in, I think in the hills,
Yes,
the
sir.
aspiration to have
Yes, sir.
teaching in English.
Yes, sir.
How would you react to that?
Sir, because English is becoming a global language, so there is indeed a need to learn English,
Not learn English, English medium.
English medium. But sir, at the lower level, we should start with Hindi. Then we should inculcate English as well. Sir, there is a need to have English medium schools, but we should not have that colonial mindset that English is superior to Hindi or to some other local language.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Anshul.
Thank you, sir.
If you can please just wait outside for 2 minutes,
Sure.
we'll
Thank
call
you,
you
sir.
back for the feedback after. Anshul, when is your interview scheduled?
Sir, 14th.
Huh?
14th, sir. Yeah,
14th of March.
4 days from now.
4 days from now, so you don't have much time really. 4 days, but still, it's really quite close and good.
Thank you.
And how many mocks have you done so far?
Sir, I've done quite a few, like 8, 9, I think I must have done.
And do you plan to do any more mocks after this till the date of the interview?
Sir, I just have like 1 or 2 mocks scheduled for tomorrow. That will be all.
Good. Now, is this how what you're going to wear for the interview?
No, sir, I have a blue coat. I have given that for dry cleaning, so I wasn't able to wear it today.
Will you be wearing a tie?
Yes, sir, blue coat and a tie, blue tie, and
blue
blue
tie.
light blue shirt,
Blue,
light blue shirt,
light blue shirt,
Yes, sir.
blue tie.
blue coat and blue pants, and black shoes.
That will really look like somebody has painted you in blue. Do try to bring a bit. Maybe rather than having a blue tie, I would suggest that you wear a white shirt. If you, this shirt you are wearing is quite nice.
Yes,
you wear this shirt,
Okay, sir.
and if you then blue tie will look good.
Look good. Okay, sir.
Otherwise, this becomes too.
Right, sir.
Okay. Anyway, so what do you think of the interview today? Your own assessment.
I think in the starting, I thought I was a little nervous because one thing I was speaking very fast, and the second I messed up a little bit in the speech thing what Swami Vivekanand ji said in Chicago. So I messed up a little bit in that, and after that I think I picked up. Uske baad I have performed like fine. Then I have to brush up on my static. So that is another thing.
See, Anshul, I think the important thing for you is to just relax really.
Yes, sir.
Don't be nervous. It's an important occasion.
Yes, sir.
But if you become nervous, if you become tense, then just like
Right,
today, you will again tend to forget. So relax. Things will happen. It's a conversation.
Right, sir.
It's not that basically you are being held to any kind of cross-examination or thing. It's just a conversation to really know who you are. One or two things that I would say that you should really keep in mind. Number one, you tend to become loquacious. Rather, I'm using loquacious as a nice
Yes, sir.
word, but try and keep your answers crisp and short.
Yes, sir.
Because that will give more opportunity for panel members to ask you things, and then they will know more about you. And keep focus on what you have been asked.
Right, sir.
You mentioned Vivekanand
Right,
speech. I'm sure you can look up the speech.
Yes, sir.
There on the Google. The reason I ask you what he said on the speech is that he was talking about the tolerance
Yes, sir.
and the inclusiveness of the Indian religion,
Right, sir.
Sanatana Dharma.
Yes, sir.
So basically, he became popular because of that acceptance, tolerance, the way he actually talked about the Indian Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, spirituality. Use the word that has been used on the.
Right, sir.
Okay, so that is one. Number two, you have a tendency to basically drop names. I'm sure that you are very happy that you are studying in the St. Stephen's, but you don't have to drop this kind of thing.
Okay, sir.
Some people can actually not like it.
Sure, sir. I'll
Okay.
keep that in mind.
Simply say that Delhi University, etc., etc.
Right, sir.
They have got a dive in front of them. If somebody wants to ask you questions about
Right, sir.
St. Stephen, they will ask you.
Right.
But you don't have to attract attention.
Right, sir.
Number three, I think it's important for you to think about what you are going to say before you start in China. I mean, you don't start importing arms from here and there, small arms, this and that.
Yes, sir.
You are basically encouraging war.
Right.
As the Ministry of External Affairs, your first duty will be to see if the differences can be resolved
Right.
through diplomacy and negotiations before it turns into a war.
Right, sir.
Everybody says war is a last resort.
Yes, sir.
And you straight away jumped. I was expecting you to say that I will try and find out the ways in which the war can be avoided.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
There are many more points, but I think language. You tend to become too informal in the language.
Yes, sir.
Even though it's a conversation, still it's a formal conversation.
Right, sir.
So try and keep really to the formal level of talking. जो बीच में बोलते हैं ना कि ये मतलब वो मतलब ये try and avoid.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You are very good in terms of your knowledge. It is just that you need over the next 4 days, relax and try and focus your answers. It will be shorter, crisper, and much better. Really. It shouldn't take too long. Really.
Yes, sir.
If you want to practice before a mirror, you can do that.
Yes.
Or talk to somebody in the family, and when your mother tells you, Anshul बहुत बोल लिया, चुप हो, अब चुप हो जाओ, then you know you need to do more. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All the best to you. Anshul.
Thanks a lot,
All
sir.
the
Please
best.
give me your blessing, sir, that I'm good.
You will make it. I can tell you that you are going to make it.
Yes,
Definitely. You are bright. You know things. You have knowledge. But once you do it, कहाँ से हैं आप?
सर उत्तराखंड से.
उत्तराखंड से हो ना? तो बाल मिठाई खिलाओगे?
सर बिल्कुल. सर आप नंबर दे दीजिए मुझे, मैं आपके.
नंबर क्या यहाँ पर आ जाना?
जी सर.
चलिए.
मैं तो सर बिल्कुल आऊँगा आपके पास.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है सर. ओके.
No, you will do it.
All the best.
All the best.